All right, let's pay attention here for a few minutes, okay? So I have a new feature file called loan calculator. I just added that to my project here. So you guys know, right? How do you add the file? Let me go and delete. So we'll start over, okay? So I'm going to select the features, new file. This time I'll call it loan calculator.feature, okay? And I have 3 scenarios. Make sure your scenario runs first before you do anything. You should get 3 skip, well undefined, blah, blah, blah. Now, one thing you guys notice, right? When you write it, it automatically, it didn't highlight this particular loan amount line. Why is that? Because it matched with the other one, right? You have something similar. So whatever, when I enter, say, see, this part is highlighted, okay? So in the Bing search feature, when I enter, right, this particular step, so there is a matching step definition. So if I go here, my steps, so it looks for anything after when I enter. So that's the reason it's matching with the wrong step definition. So what you can do is you have to correct that. You can say on page or something like that, okay? Or in loan amount field or on page, so that you can do, well, this one will not work either. So let's put something else. Actually, we can actually create another one. What did you guys do? But you have to make sure you have to change it, right? So the best thing you can do is change it here, okay? Modify this tab definition to make it specific on Bing page, something like that, okay? So go back and you can modify this one. Yeah, so here I'm changing to I input, okay? So I input, I can do that so that it doesn't match with the original step definition, okay? So just be careful with that, all right? Let's say we code this route, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of these 2 scenarios for now, okay? And we'll put that back in. All right, so I'm gonna always start with 1 scenario. You make sure you automate fully, and then keep on adding additional scenarios. Okay? That's how you want to do it. So let me go and quickly create new feature file here. Sorry, step definitions here. So loan steps. Second one. Third one. So now at this point you are just repeating the steps, okay? What you did with the Bing search. It's kind of the same way, but there is one more additional thing that you have to work through. Okay. Now, what second thing? What we're gonna do is, let's see. Oh, it's probably I need to escape, so we'll make it simplify a little bit here. 60. And put the numbers. All right. And let's come back to the steps. Get rid of this one, 2, and it should be all right. Okay. All right. So at least at this point, I don't have anything else pending. So I'll come back here in the steps, and now we need to put the capture group. Okay. Second part would be the capture groups. So I want to parameterize this one. So here you can put D plus, right? you can use other ones as well, but I'm just gonna put slash please plus instead of the actual amount. Okay, so that's one. Everything else is same, right? All right. So what would be my next step? Once I'm done with this one, create a class file, right? So let me go ahead and add a new class file. New in the support directory, I'll add a new class file called loan calculator .rb. Okay. And here class called loan calculator NA. Okay. So here I can go and add new methods here. Now in order to do this execute this scenario, right? You need to actually log in. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one method called login here, and I'll show you tomorrow how we can centralize the login using the actual framework. But for now, today we'll go and add a login method here, which takes in username and password. Okay, these two things. So that's one method. Our second method would be corresponding to each step, what we are trying to do. Okay, so here, what we are saying is login as a dealer user, right? Let me get rid of the pending as well. So this is where I'm going to perform all the things, login and everything. Then second would be access loan calculator, right? So I need to have another method for this one. So let's go back here to the loan calculator class, and I'll add a new method called access loan calculator. Okay, it's going to be empty method. Go back to the step when I calculate, right? So I'll go to the loan calculator class, add a new method called calculate. Whatever name you want to give it, okay? But I'm giving this calculate because it makes sense to me, so I'll provide a new name called calculate. Let's go back here to the steps. Fourth step would be positive amount, right? Oh, my fourth step is this one, when I input loan amount. So I need to have a method for that. Input loan amount. That's what I'm calling. And last would be verify payment. Okay. So these are 5 methods that I have. Now, just like a Bing search, right? We do want to pass in the argument to certain methods. So here I can do, let's say amount. I can send in the loan amount, and the verify payment would be monthly payment. Okay. So those 2 arguments that can flow through from here. Now, what did I miss on this step? These 2 steps. Arguments, right? Because I put the captcha group it, but I forgot to put argument. So I can do argument here, or you can actually name it payment. This one would be loan amount. Okay, so I have those 2 arguments. Once I'm done, let's go and run it just to make sure nothing breaks. One pass, 5 pass, one scenario, 1 pass, 5 steps, 5 pass. All good. So now the easy part is hooking up. Okay, which method you are hooking up with the loan steps. So again, you have to create an object here, a loan object or whatever you want to name it. Okay, loan object is equal loan calculator dot new. All right, so that's your object. Once you get the object, then you can just start calling the appropriate method. And here, loan object dot login. That's what you want to do, right? In the first thing. So this is what I'm going to put in. Now it's highlighted because this login method, it takes 2 arguments, username and password. So at this point, you know that you need to log in as dealer, right? So you can either hard code it here, G training and training. Okay. you can do that. But hard coding is typically not allowed. Okay, so this is where our other things comes in the picture. So let's go and add a new file, and I'm going to add a new file called env.rb, and here I'll define two variables, global variables. Okay, one says username or dealer username. Dealer user is equal gtraining dollar dealer user password is equal training. Okay, and if you have multiple users, you can add more variables here, global variables. Then I can reference them to my in the step definition. So here I can have dollar dealer user and dollar dealer user password. Okay, so that way I don't have to worry about much here. Oh, okay. So let me just make sure I'm missing the end. That's the reason it's showing me error. Okay. So now I hooked up this one here, and then other methods I just call the other appropriate method, loan object, and as soon as you do dot, you will see all the methods here. Okay, you don't have to actually type it in. You can just pick it. When I access loan calculator, I want to call this access loan calculator method. I can just double click it. That's it. When I calculate, right? Same thing. Loan object dot calculate. That's it. You don't have to worry about typing it. Okay. Loan object dot. This is display positive monthly payment. Like this is verify payment. Okay. And here I can pass argument payment. And last piece would be loan object dot input loan amount, and I can push this one as an argument, and I should be able to run it. It should be able to see everything passed. Okay, because I don't have any red lines or anything, and everything, all the methods are hooked up, but I'm not printing anything, right? So you can see whether your methods are being called by going to the class and puts login, right? Something like that. Puts access. For now, we're just gonna print it. Okay, calculate. Puts input and puts verify, right? And if I run it, oh, and now it's a hard coded, right? So it's not gonna throw me any error. Okay, but I can still correct my spelling. So if I run it, I should be able to see my methods from the class being called, login, access, input, calculate, verify, and everything is hooked up properly, right? So it's the same pattern. You are repeating, right? Kind of like a big search, but the additional thing we have here is the login part, all right? So this is the login part. We have to log into the Rflow first and then perform all the steps. And we do have a search, let's go back here. Given condition, right? That's where the login comes in the picture. Now at that point, I can actually open the browser and then actually input username, password, click login, all four things. But I'm gonna build that logic in my actual method. Okay, those logic will be built here, which I'll show you probably next Saturday. How we can actually utilize the web drivers like Water and Selenium to actually trigger the actual login process. Okay, is everybody clear? Now, good thing is that this step, right? So you have one scenario end to end. The only thing I have to do is copy the second scenario, right? Or whatever the second scenario is, right? Let's come back here. I have a second scenario, and make sure when I input, right? This is what the input is. So I don't need to worry about 3 steps. Okay. The only thing I need to handle is this thing. the negative values, right? So that's what I need to handle. Plus, I need to handle create a new step for this one, and keep on adding methods in your class, whatever you need to handle. Okay, and then you should be good because these three steps you can reuse because it is gonna. That's the whole point of object-oriented programming, right? You don't need to do anything specific because they are exactly same. Okay. Any question? All right. So now you just have to build it, right? So let's work through this one. We're not gonna cover anything new today. All right. Gotta make sure you get this process. So we have to keep building on top of what we are doing. So use this example and work through the second scenario. Actually, you can modify this one here. Let's go back. Where is our? Should be fine. Negative, right? Special character. So let's see if we change our. So that's where you have to go to regex tester and see it.
You're trying to enter the same regex for both positive and
That's correct. Yeah, you have to
right.
handle
And I
both.
was thinking like, can
Yeah.
you use it or how to right now I have two-step definition for positive and negative.
No, you need to make sure you handle in one.
One.
Yeah. So that's where you just need to come up with negative. Basically, you can Google it as well. Okay. How do you handle the regex, right?
With
Regex
and
for negative amount.
Oh, I just
Number.
entered that in the square bracket negative.
Yeah, you can do that, right? But see here, this is what it is, right? 129/D. You can just find it if you don't know. I mean, you don't have to build everything from scratch. Now they have a decimal, right? So we ignore the decimal.
Can we use one method for two-step definition?
You can. -4. Okay. Yeah, so this should work. Okay. This particular regex.
The question mark means that it's optional.
Yeah. Yep. But sometimes whatever you put in regex may not work with the actual tool. Okay. Even though it's a valid regex, we have to tweak it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back for the special characters. let me send you guys this one right first. Then I'll work through that and I'll show you guys in there. Let me send you the feature file first.